Hi, boys and girls. I'm here today to read you a story about one tiny turtle. I love this book. It's a nonfiction story that teaches us all about sea turtles. This book is really about a sea turtle called a loggerhead turtle. And there's something about this book. I don't know. I've always loved the story, and I really want to share it with you. So I wanted to point out this is a nonfiction book, but it doesn't have a lot of the nonfiction text features that we've talked about, like photographs or headings, captions, none of those. But it's still an informational text or a nonfiction book because it's full of information, facts about turtles. So, the author of this book, her name is Nicola Davies. She loves turtles so much. And she wrote this book, and the illustrator, Jane Chapman, drew the pictures to go along with her words. And the author's words are just so beautiful, in my opinion. She really describes turtles and sea life in such a really pretty way. So I hope you really enjoy this story. It almost feels like you're underwater with them. So I hope you like it. One Tiny Turtle. About turtles. Sea turtles are related to tortoises and terrapins. They are all reptiles. Sea turtles are great wanderers, traveling thousands of miles each year, often far from land. This makes them difficult to study, so scientists are only just beginning to find out about their mysterious lives. There are 7 species of sea turtles. This book is about the loggerhead turtle. Loggerheads live in seas all over the world. So, what good readers do is they ask questions while they're reading, they think about what they're reading, and then they'll learn even more about their topic. So I might stop and ask some questions while I'm reading this book to you. Maybe you'll have the same questions. Maybe you'll think of your own. One Tiny Turtle. Oh, I love this page. It's so beautiful. It looks like a real picture of the sea. Far, far out to sea, land is only a memory. An empty sky touches the water. Just beneath the surface is a tangle of weed and driftwood where tiny creatures cling. This is the nursery of a sea turtle. Nursery is where babies are, right? A nursery. So they're talking about the baby sea turtles are all together underneath the surface. The surface is the top of the water. So underneath is a whole world, right? That we can't even see. It's so pretty. Okay, here's the pictures. Passing in a boat, you might not notice Turtle, not much bigger than a bottle cap. She hides in the green shadows. She's a baby, so her shell is soft as old leather. Just a little fish bite could rip it open. But the turtle is safe in her world of weed and snaps her beak on tiny crabs and shrimps. Turtles have shells that cover their backs and shells that cover their stomachs. The shells are made from bony plates that get bigger and harder as the turtle grows. I like how the author typed the words this way. It looks almost like the waves of the water rolling in the ocean. So pretty. So there's the loggerhead snacking on little shrimps and crabs when he's just a little baby. The turtle swims around, flapping her long front flippers like wings. She is flying underwater. She pokes her pinprick nostrils. Nostrils are the tiny holes that you breathe through, right? We all have 2. So she pokes her pinprick nostrils through the silver surface to take a quick breath. So fast, blink, and you'd miss it. Just a quick breath of air. Then she's gone, diving down into her secret life again. So here's some facts about the turtles. Fish breathe underwater, but turtles are reptiles and need to come up to the surface for air. They do this every 4 to 5 minutes when they are active. When they are asleep, they can stay underwater for hours. Isn't that amazing? They need air when they're active or busy during the day looking for food and swimming, but when they're sleeping, nope, they can just lay there for hours. Wow, that's different than us, right? Than people. We're mammals, we're not reptiles, but we need air all the time. For 3 or 4 years, maybe more, the turtle rides out storms. Oops, see, underneath there's a storm at the surface, but they're safely underwater, and floats through the hot calms. So if you notice, it looks very bright at the top, so the sun must be really hot and shiny that day. So maybe the turtles like how it feels. I wonder if they like how the warmth feels on their backs through the water. Interesting. Steadily, she outgrows her nursery. Nobody sees her leave, but when you look for her, she has vanished all the same. Wow. They just swim, float, and do what they have to do and move on. A year or two later, she turns up close to land. Bigger than a dinner plate now, she's not a fish snack anymore. Her shell is hard as armor. Her head is tough as a helmet. She's grown into her name, Loggerhead. She has come to eat crabs. Millions swim up from deep water to breed in the shallows. Their shells crack as easily as hen's eggs in her heavy jaws. But in a week, the feast is over and Loggerhead disappears again. So there she is, snacking on crabs, chomping on those shells. Imagine that. If we eat crabs, we have to take the shells off, but they bite right through it to get to that meat inside. Loggerhead wanders far and wide in search of food. In summer to cool seaweed jungles where she finds juicy clams and shoals of shrimp. And in winter to turquoise lagoons warm as a bath where she can munch among corals. See all the little fish that swim? That's what they eat. They look for food there. Loggerhead may travel thousands of miles, but she leaves no trace or track for you to follow. Only good luck will catch you a glimpse of her. Wow. I like this picture. Look at that. See the moon? So when do you think that takes place? At night. Right. For 30 years, you might not find her. Then one summer night, she arrives on the beach where she was born. She's found her way here, sensing north and south like a compass needle, feeling the current and the warmth of the waves. She remembers the taste of the water here and the sound of the surf. It's amazing. So the females come to shore to lay her eggs. See that? This page is so amazing because it shows how smart turtles are. The turtle, as a baby, when they were born here, the same beach where this turtle was born, she remembers and she swims all the way back here 30 years later. Amazing. She remembers how the water tasted and how it felt. Imagine. Wow. That is so cool. Loggerhead has grown in her wandering years. She's big as a barrel now. Floating in the sea, she weighs nothing. But on land, she's heavier than a man. Wow, imagine that. I wonder how heavy they do get. So every flipper step is a struggle, and her eyes stream with salty tears, which help keep them free of sand. Coming ashore is very risky for sea turtles. They can easily overheat and die. So they only nest at night or in cool weather. Then they get back to the sea as soon as possible. Wow. What's interesting to me, do you see that tear in the turtle's eye? That doesn't mean the turtle's sad. Like I just read and I learned that, if you go to the beach, you get sand in your eye, it hurts, right? You sort of want to rub it, but you can't rub it. But they don't have hands like we do that they can do that or even brush it out of your eye. They have those flippers. So their eyes get really, really wet and teary to clean the sand out of their eyes for them. Amazing. So it doesn't hurt them. But she's very heavy and it's hard for them to move, turtles. They float and like almost fly in the ocean. But on land, it's a struggle. Interesting. And during the day, it's hot. They can dry out and die. And so that's why they come out at night to lay their eggs in the sand. So interesting. So this part's interesting. Loggerhead makes her nest where the sea won't reach, scooping carefully with her hind flippers. That means her back legs. She makes, how dogs dig holes? They dig a hole in the sand with their back flippers. So she makes a steep, deep hole. Inside, she lays her eggs, like 100 squidgy ping pong balls. See that? So she lays them deep in the hole in the sand. Afterward, she covers them with sand to hide her nest from hungry mouths. Animals can find those eggs and eat them. So she wants to make sure they're very, very safe and buried deep in the sand. Then Loggerhead is gone again, back to her secret life. Left behind under the sand, her eggs stay deep and safe. Baby turtles grow inside. Females stay close to their nesting beach for several months. In that time, they usually make at least 4 nests and sometimes as many as 10. So that means that turtle here that came to lay her eggs, she'll come and stay around in the area in that beach for about 4 or 5 months, and she'll make more nests, like one pile here, one over there, the same beach. And then she goes back into the ocean. And before the summer's over, they wriggle from their shells. Oh, cute. Turtle eggs in warm sand can be ready to hatch in 6 weeks. If the sand is cool, they can take 3 weeks longer. Wow. So if it's warmer, they come out faster. Wow. And they're all growing all that time in that shell. That is so neat. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Look what's looming in the air. See those birds? That could be dangerous. Let's see what happens. Above them on the beach, 100 eyes watch, on the lookout for a meal. So the hatchlings wait until night. Then they burst through the sand and skitter toward the sea. So do you see that? All the baby turtles that hatched, they make a run for it from their nest. They climb out of their shell, climb up out of that hole, and make their way back to the ocean. But look who's watching. The birds. They're hungry, and they might want a snack. Uh-oh. The horizon, where the sea meets the sky, tells baby turtles which way to turn to get to the water. But streetlights and buildings next to the beach can confuse them and make them go the wrong way. So they use nature to teach them which way to go. It's not like us, where we can use our phones to get directions. Turtles aren't so lucky, but they have a built-in, they know what to do. They look at the moon, they look at the horizon, and they can tell which way to go. It's amazing. But the birds really want them, so hopefully they make it there safely at night. Let's see, we're almost at the end. In the dark, claws and beaks and grabbing paws miss only one young turtle. One day she'll remember this beach and come back. But now she dives under the waves and swims and swims out into the arms of the ocean, far, far out to sea. Land becomes a memory, waiting to wake in the head of the little turtle. So that means, unfortunately, almost all those baby turtles didn't make it. They were eaten by the birds, and that does happen. That really does happen. But that one tiny turtle right here, this turtle made it to the ocean, and this turtle is going to do the same thing as her mom turtle did. She'll come back to this beach and lay her eggs when she's old enough to come back, but she's always going to remember this place. It's so amazing. Wow. So here is a nonfiction text feature. This page has the index. So if we wanted to learn about their shells, we would go to the word shell and say, oh, page 8 and 14 have information about shells. So I hope you enjoyed this book. I really did. And we're going to learn more about turtles this week in science. You're going to watch a video and learn some facts. So I hope you really enjoy the story. All right. Thank you.